And welcome to your LSU football fix. I'm Preston Guy, staff writer at TigerBait.com. It's quiet, a little too quiet, but I can promise you, behind the scenes right now, guys, there's a lot going on. I've been hearing a lot of rumblings, and BK is doing some serious work right now. So we're going to get to talking about LSU's transfer portal and kind of mixing a little bit of like NFL player opportunity type stuff in there. Of course, those kind of go one and the same. It's roster management. That's what I'm going to open the show with. Thus far, we're like 36 hours into the transfer portal opening, guys, and LSU's looking real good so far. So I'm going to get into that. Brandon Taylor is going to come in. I wanted Brandon Taylor on here because it seems like he came from an era before, how should we call it? Before guys gave up on the team as much, before they left their teams as much. But roster volatility really started post Brandon Taylor's time, at least here at LSU. So I'm going to sit and talk with him, and then we'll get into some recruiting nuggets there afterward. Of course, today's show is presented by Tramonte's Meat and Seafood. They make everything we do possible, so make sure to go out and support them. If you're looking for your Christmas holiday ham, look no further. The best meats and seafoods, they're all at Tramonte's. Got some good bourbons behind me. I've got Jefferson Pritchard Reserve and Blue Note. Remember, these are single barrel reserves. You can only get this barrel. It's hand-picked by their staff. You can only get it at Tramonte's. They've got prime rib, boneless or bone-in, so make sure to go get this for all of the best holiday cookings. Remember to mention TigerBait, and you get a free $25 gift card if you spend $200 or more. We're going to hear from Tramonte's, and then I'm going to dive straight into how LSU's doing with the transfer portal and NFL draft status thus far, one day into the off season.
Tramonte's has meat. Tramonte's has seafood. Tramonte's has much more. Tailgating and homegating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tramontes.com.
Thank you, Tramonte's, for paying all our bills and making my show possible. I certainly love football nights on YouTube, as Josh Forbes, one of the regulars to the show, is here. Stephen Miller, what's up, man? Right at the end of Fournette's times look, you're certainly right about like transfer and transfer portal stuff in particular, but I think the whole bolting to the NFL stuff that really started after that 2011 season, but really got bad 2012. I'm going to go over kind of a bunch of players, just NFL draft stuff. I'm not even going into like transferring or bad roster management stuff. Maybe y'all can drop names for me. I'll do half the work. I'll drop the names of all the guys who left the NFL when they shouldn't have, and you drop the names of guys who were leaving the team when they shouldn't have. Big Cojones, Kelly, the best avatar in YouTube chat. What's going on, man? What's up, man? Let's see here. Brian Ketley's going to win a national championship, 9-4 this season. I believe LSU beats Purdue and is going to go 10-4 for the first time. First time 10 wins since 2019. Yeah, that's a big deal, Jeremy. And to win 10 games this year, outstanding given the roster he was handed. He had no business competing for 10 games, and here he is doing it nonetheless. Guys, it was a dumpster fire he was inherited. It was absolute dumpster fire. And, you know, he built this roster from scratch, y'all. And how he's going to build this team into a championship. This is LSU. You're going to get tons of talent. LSU is one of 3 special jobs in the country where you just have this unfair access to talent. Ed Ogeron brought in lots of talent. Les Miles brought in lots of talent. They brought in so much talent that they, as crappy coaches, got carried to national championships. Think about that. Brian Kelly's a much better coach than either of those guys. However, those guys also let talent leave faster than they could bring it in. And that also applies to coaching talent. You got to keep your coaching talent in. Dave Aranda was a great coach. You let him leave and you could not find a guy to replace him. Joe Brady, great coach. You let him leave after a year. You can't let guys leave. Part of the new era of college football is going to be recruiting what is on your team. And you're going to lose some. I'd be shocked if you don't lose half a dozen players. Brian Kelly has been working hard all day, today, and yesterday, doing exit interviews, sit downs. When we talk about being the grown up in the room, a lot of people ask, what does that mean? The grown up in the room, Brian Kelly, that LSU needs. That's what I mean. He's organized. He identifies the players that he thinks are flight risks, and he asks them, before you make that announcement, before you pull that trigger, sit down, let's talk, let's have an interview, let's work this out. That's the kind of organization that championship programs are built upon, and that's what LSU's getting right now. So currently, Boutte's out. I'm sorry, Boutte's back. Boutte's back. I'm sorry. Completely botched that. Boutte is back. And that is huge news because, quite frankly, we all wouldn't have been surprised if he opted out this season. There was rumblings about him transferring to Bama. All sorts of stuff was out there. But his draft stock, quite frankly, he didn't ball out this season. And his draft stock took a little bit of a hit. He was probably going to drop to the second round. Guys like that are great to bring back on campus because you honestly, the guys you don't want to lose are the surefire first round draft picks. Look, if you're a surefire first round draft pick and you're my son, look, guys, I went to LSU. My dad went to LSU. My grandpa went to LSU. My wife went to LSU. Take a good guess where my son's going. It's obviously in my blood, but at the same time, my son's in that position. I'm telling him to take the first round money. Alma mater be damned. So I'm not worried about losing those first round guys. But championships are built on teams that have second and third round NFL rookies playing football for you. Let me repeat that. Second and third, and really, quite frankly, any drafted rookie playing for you. That's what championships are built on. Because if you think about it, when a player could be drafted fourth or fifth round and they choose to stay, they are a fourth, fifth, whatever round rookie playing college football. That's how you win championships. That's the kind of guys you need on your roster. Unfortunately, the bad news for LSU, 2 guys out. 2. There are 1,000 players in the transfer portal right now. More than 1,000 guys. You've got 2. Jack Bech. You would like to have Jack Bech back, but it's very clear. Boutte was a direct barrier to Jack Bech's pass to the field. If Jack Bech is my son and Boutte's coming back and this is your 3rd year on campus, I'm saying, son, you love LSU. This is right for you. You need to go, man. You got to get on the field somewhere. You're too damn good to be sitting on the bench this long. And that's what Jack Bech is doing. So I wish him the best. You also lose Damarius McGhee, who played in 2021, but he played very sparingly this year. He clearly wasn't fitting in, meshing in with the BK system. He was a 4-star recruit, but quite frankly, I mean, when guys aren't playing, those are the kind of guys you're okay with transferring out. What you don't want to lose is the guys who were clearly in a position to contribute, make an impact, do well, and position to do what they need to do to make themselves into an NFL player, transferring out. Eli Ricks. You don't want to lose those guys. So far, A+. Now, there are storms. I know for a fact there have been some storms brewing, and BK, Brian Kelly, doing all he can to keep things intact. Because, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. It's not that he's doing anything wrong. Just the nature of the beast is everybody wants to play and wants to play right now. And the transfer portal is right there. You got Tinder for college football, guys. Swipe right. Oh, it's a match. It's prime. Coach Prime wants me. Let's go. It's very tempting. It's tough for these young testosterone-filled men to pass that up. It takes a real mature, organized voice to get in these kids' heads to get it right. I want to talk about to Brandon Taylor when he gets on, by the way, what changed since 2011? Because back then, dude stuck around a lot more than they did. And he's kind of been around the program and seen it. I want to pick his brain about that. So it'll be impressive to see what I will be judging Brian Kelly based off how he manages this roster this offseason. Is he keeping all those guys? Are the Eli Ricks of the world staying on your roster? That quarterback room is going to be really interesting to navigate. I mean, really interesting to navigate. Because you got the crown jewel. If Walker Howard walks, he's walking out with 2 national championships with him, guys. He's good. He's real good. So you don't want to lose him. But it's also, you also need to let him know that you've got 2 guys who are currently ahead of him on the depth chart, and he's going to have to earn that spot ahead of him. It's not going to be handed to him like some guys might say it is. We'll have to see. I will be judging him heavily because if he's able to manage a roster and keep guys on campus, I know it's harder than ever. It is absolutely harder than ever to manage a roster, but if he's able to do it, you know he's going to stock. But we see it already in his recruiting classes, y'all. He's got 2 straight top 5 recruiting classes lined up. We see what he can do in the transfer portal. He's going to bring in 40 dudes this year, y'all. But are there 45 guys already going to be in place that are dudes ready to play too? Or do you not even need 40 dudes? That'd be even better if you had 55 guys in place and you only needed 30. That'd be even better. How can you handle roster attrition? If you can manage roster attrition, you have a front row ticket to a championship with LSU. Because that's the kind of talent you have access to here. I'm not saying every year, but you'll be in the conversation every year. You'll be in the conversation every year. Mike sent me a text. I had to check it real quick. He sent me a picture of me on the Jumbotron saying I'm going to scare Santa away. Oh, no. Not for my kid's first year. All right, guys. Since 2011... what I'm not talking about is guys like Michael Brockers, who left. He was a sophomore, but I mean, he went and became a first-round draft pick. Dude, that's the point. Go do you, man. Mo Claiborne. That's fine. What I'm talking about, Benny Logan had a year of eligibility. He was 3rd-round pick. Couldn't you have convinced Benny Logan to come back? Give you, come be a first-round draft pick, man. Sam Montgomery. Now, I know there was some off-the-field stuff, him and Moffitt, hitting heads, whatever. And his draft talk actually kind of went down. But couldn't you have said, hey, man, your draft talk slid. Come back. Do what Kayshon Boutte is doing. Kayshon Boutte's draft stock slid. Hey, man, don't go in there sliding. You might continue to slide through the NFL draft process. Come back, Sam Montgomery, 3rd-round pick. Darrell Simon. Left in the 5th. Trey Turner, 3rd-round pick. Daniil Hunter, who never panned out to his talent level at LSU. 3rd-round pick. Quan Alexander, 4th-round pick. Gerald Hawkins, who was here for 4 years, but he could have stayed another. 4th-round pick to the Steelers. Rashard Robinson, no business leaving campus. I'm sorry. 4th-round pick. Kendall Beckwith, 3rd round. Kendall Beckwith's a guy I could have very, very easily seen him working his way into the 1st round. Davin Godshaw, 5th round. Here's a name that is probably going to send all of your eyes straight into the back of your head. Malachi Dupree. What you doing, Malachi? 7th round. You didn't do anything during your time at LSU. You left after 3 years. Arden Key, 3rd round. Will Clapp. in 2017, 7th round pick. Do you know in 2018 that offensive line struggled so much? You know how many sacks Burrow took in 2018? You know how much they could have used Will Clapp at center that year? Quite a bit. And let me illustrate a point. Not one player that next year in 2018, not one player left with eligibility remaining that was drafted in the 3rd round or later in 2018. Guess what? 12 months later, they're in New Orleans, 15-0 national champions, greatest team to ever do it. Championships are built on lack of attrition. You bring the talent in, you keep the talent in. It's a very simple equation. And hopefully you get enough coaching to where they don't screw it up. Now, I hope I didn't get everybody triggered just reading off that list of names. Jacob Phillips, Sadiq Charles, Lloyd Cushenberry the next year. And then the pattern went right back to it. Guess what? More attrition, boom, right back down to, 500 football or whatever. I mean, it wasn't 500 before, but you get what I'm saying. It wasn't as good. It wasn't the 10, 11 win seasons we were used to. Because remember, there was a long time. They think 03, 04 was 9 wins, but they played one less game back then. 05, 06, that was 11-2, 07, 12-2. Only reason, you dip down after that, but you had no quarterback for a couple years. So that's what I'll be judging Brian Kelly heavily on this offseason. Recruit your own roster. Can you keep all 3 of these QBs on your roster? That'll be interesting. And if you can't, do you at least keep the ones that matter the most? Do you run off Walker Howard, who's who's your most talented quarterback on your roster, in favor of whomever? Or can you manage a way to keep, if you keep all 3, bravo. Take a bow, Brian Kelly. Take a bow. That's A++. Right now, we're in A+ territory right now. We're in A+ territory. And there's no lack of drama behind the scenes. It's also quiet on the other end. They've only offered 2 players, Kyle Murlock, Braden Frisk. The Braden Frisk kid, really interesting. 6'5", 300-pound defensive tackle from Western Michigan. I really could see him making an impact if he comes in. But it's been quiet on that end. I think Brian Kelly's waiting to see what goes out before he overcommits and brings stuff in. All right. Before we get to Brandon, I got Brandon backstage. Speaking of guys who stuck around for all of their eligibility to help LSU win a championship, Brandon Taylor's right backstage. I'm going to let him get set up. I'm going to thank a couple sponsors real quick before they do that. Remember, Tramonte's is best place to get all your holiday hams, your prime ribs, and all the bourbons you see behind me. So go check them out at the corner of Airline and Jefferson, right behind Parkview Baptist, for the best eats in town. Let's hear from them, and we'll be right back.
Tramonte's has meat. Tramonte's has seafood. Tramonte's has much more. Tailgating and homegating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tramontes.com.
And Tiger fans, you know where I'm going to knock out all my holiday shopping. It's Alumni Hall. All my friends and family are LSU fans. I already talked about it. My dad, my grandpa, my wife, my mom, my sister, everybody in my family is LSU alumni. So Alumni Hall is where I go to do all my Christmas shopping. It's a one-stop shop for all those people. They have the best apparel for all your family friends. They have hats, drinkware, wall art, you name it, they've got it. They've got bowl game merch coming in soon. So keep an eye out for that. I'm looking forward to getting some graphics showing that off. They have discounts for LSU students, faculty, and military. They get 10% off. Go check out Alumni Hall in Perkins Row or shop anytime online at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, the ultimate LSU Tiger shopping experience. And without further ado, Brandon, it took me way too long to get you on my show. What's going on, B. Taylor?
Oh, Preston, how you doing, man?
You doing good, man. I'm doing a lot better than that. I got you on here, man. All right. So back in your day, dudes stuck around and played ball for a while. You were one. I mean, you probably could have bolted out after your junior year. You stuck around. You wore that 18 jersey with pride. You won an SEC championship. What changed?
I think is what changed with football is these younger guys, they want instant gratification. Where when I played, players could grind for delayed gratification because you knew it was a process. You respected the guys that was in front of you. You wanted to learn. It just wasn't a I'm coming here to just to play, and if I don't play, then I'm leaving. Like life doesn't work like that. And once football is over with, they're gonna learn a lifelong lesson, and it's gonna hit life is gonna hit them in the face. And I just wish that a lot of these guys would think twice before entering the portal and just learn to compete because that portal entering that portal, that's going to travel to the NFL with you. And scouts going to ask, why did you enter the portal? What was your reasons for entering the portal? Why didn't you stay at the school that you were at and compete for a position or something like that? Which for some guys, the portal was good and they need it. But back when I played, like if you transferred, it had to be to a school down, and coaches had to sign off and approve if you could go to a school in your conference. And most coaches wouldn't do that. And if you went to from a D1 to a D1, you had to sit out a year.
I have made a lot of my platform about, I've said a ton of times, I'm actually not opposed to telling an amateur you can't play football in almost every scenario, right? And obviously the transfer portal and this, everybody gets one rule has opened up a lot more kids to play football, right? And a lot less kids having to spend less time sitting out. My question to you is it better for college football where we're at now, or was it better where there was penalties making kids sit out if they were to leave that kind of encouraged them to stay put?
I think that they need to clean it up a little bit. I don't think penalizing the kid is is right because you got to understand like these are young men like this is their livelihood. This is what they want to do. And I know it's about school first, but you can't penalize a kid for thinking that he's not in the right situation, and sometimes they may not be in the right situation. Some kids want to get closer to home, or some kids want to get further away from home. And I don't think you should penalize it, but you need to have a damn good reason why you are going into the transfer portal. And like the quarterback from Clemson, like you're the starting quarterback at Clemson. You're competing for a top bowl
You talking
game.
about Ungalele or whatever?
Yeah.
Well,
Why are
he was getting beat out though by that freshman though, from what I understand.
you gotta compete?
Yeah.
What does that say about your character as a
So
man?
you're saying being on the bench ain't a reason?
No, no. So somebody beat you out, you got beat out. Go
Hmm.
get your spot. Go get your spot back. You done it to yourself. You control your destiny if you a starter. So I don't think that's really a good excuse, but more power to them. I mean, they there to make their decisions. They put in the hard work to earn scholarships, and their decision is their decision.
I got a super chat here. And guys, if y'all want to ask Brandon something here, what's cool about Brandon, he does his radio stuff, so he can handle your stuff if you want to. So hit me up with an Ask Brandon if you want to put something here. Here's Dane Bergeron, who's apparently your biggest fan. Preston, you have redeemed yourself having Brandon Taylor on. He's saying I'm redeeming myself. I had Glenn Gilbo on. That's what I'm redeeming myself for. He's one of my all-time favorite Tigers. He's my favorite post-game show and got me through last season. He should be coaching. All right, so are you going to give up post-game and coach somewhere?
Uh, Look, my parents have been on me about it. My brothers and sisters have been on me about it. Former teammates, former coaches. It's just it's a lot that goes into that,
Oh yeah.
and you gotta understand. Like I have a young daughter, and the way I work now, like I rarely see my daughter because I work so much on the road. If I was a coach, I would probably see her a lot less, and it's more of a thing for me, and it's to the point where I don't think my style. I would have to reevaluate myself as an an older, a former player because I think that my style of coaching probably wouldn't fit with the personalities of younger kids nowadays because
Yeah.
I'm a zero tolerance type of person. It's black and white with me.
Yeah.
I don't do gray areas. I don't have tolerance for a lot. I come from being coached the old school background way.
See, I
Coach
would
John,
never want to pick up coaching because it is just way too much work. I mean, it is so much
I
work and commitment.
it really is. And then you're dealing with 18 or
Yeah.
22-year-olds.
Egos, attitudes.
And then now that I'm making more money than coaches, so it's like it, it, it would be hard. And I think my personality right now is I wouldn't, I probably wouldn't be able to
See,
handle
see,
that.
look, maybe I could be a coach back in like the 70s when there was like no rules with this stuff. But man, if a 16-year-old talks back to me, I would want to slap the hell out of that little boy. But, in 2022, I'd be canceled so fast. The Twitter mom, no, I can't do it anymore. I couldn't deal with the smart ass little kids. You know what I mean? Like, nah, dog.
Even when I played, like, and I was given the 18, like I was given that for a reason because it was zero nonsense, zero tolerance. Like we here to work,
Yeah.
we gotta go. Like no BS, and if it is BS, it's consequences for that, and that's how we carried ourselves, and that's why we were successful, and that's why a lot of us are successful off the field now.
Brandon, I don't remember exactly what your draft status would have been as a junior, but I assume probably at least fourth, fifth round pick, something like that, right?
Mhm.
Um, what was there any kind of formal decision process of you deciding to come back to school? Can you just walk us through what happened after your junior season ended?
Well, I evaluated myself. I didn't, I didn't listen to nobody, no agents. I didn't talk to no agents. I didn't listen to no friends, no family members, nothing. Because at the end of the day, it's you that's in the past, and it's you that got to make the decision for yourself. Don't listen to nobody else when it comes to that. I watched my film. I seen that I missed a lot of opportunities to get interceptions, to make big plays. I missed a few tackles that I didn't, that I thought I should have made as a player. And as far as my body, like I wasn't the weight I wanted to be, and stuff like that. And just the guys that was gonna be coming back around me, like no, like. And then I wanted to graduate to Tiger, so I didn't want to get caught up in anything like that, like going to the NFL and then having to come back and do an extra year of school. That was it was a lot of decisions, but overall, it was I knew that I needed to improve as a player on and off the field, and I wasn't mature enough to go to the NFL. I'm gonna just be honest with you, like I
Really?
was
Number
I
18
was,
wasn't mature enough.
I was 15 then, so when I turned
Okay.
got 18, it was a
Okay.
difference.
So that off
I had,
season, you just magically grew
yeah,
up. I see, huh?
and it's not like a maturity thing as far as like clubbing or partying or anything. It's a maturity thing as far as my body wasn't fully developed.
Oh yeah, I see.
I still had a cornerback body playing DB, playing safety. So my
Yeah.
senior year, like some of my junior year, like I bulked up big time. I put on like 12 pounds of muscle,
Brandon, are
and I
you in
got
better
fat.
shape now than you were in the NFL?
It's crazy, but I really am.
I mean, you are bigger than any dude on the field in the press box. I mean, I swear to God, like you weigh more than Big Fave when I see you, and it's a good weight. I'm not saying you're chunky. Like you, I
So
mean, it's
the crazy
ridiculous.
thing is, I really am, and I think it goes to great genetics because my older brothers that played at LSU, like they're the same way. So
Yeah.
I think the older we get, the better we get.
Yeah, oh boy, but must be nice. Wait, how old are you now? You're like 32 now, right?
32, make 33 in January.
Yeah, all right. So you're not too old. I mean, but I mean, still, it's ridiculous because I think about it. You were kind of thin. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
especially like as a freshman. I'm thinking about when you had to like come in for Patty Pete and whatnot.
You can see my freshman year when I came into LSU, I was 5'9", 173 pounds, soaking
No
wet.
way, 5'9".
When
How tall are you now?
when I left LSU, I was 5'11", 205,
Okay, that
and
sounds
that
about right.
thank you, Tommy Moffitt.
Hey man, that 2011 defense was sick. I
and
just
it,
like got
and
flashbacks of like just trying to get the mental picture of you. And I was like, wait a second, I remember it. Number 18 running around there. I was like, God, that defense was just oof. That was so much fun to watch. Alex
he
G
was
wants
just
to know if LSU can keep the DBU reputation.
I think that we got a lot going on right now. I think that we need to get uh we got a great foundation, especially with Kayshon Boutte coming back. Let's let's get rid of all
Yeah,
the acronyms and everything like that. Let's
really,
just
you
get back.
want DBU to go away?
I don't want it to go away. I just want it to be earned.
Okay, okay.
Like people don't understand. Like that started with Corey Webster, Travis Daniels, Maron Landry, Ryan Clark, Jack Hunt, like household names, and we didn't just throw it around like that. Like older guys that evaluated us and watched us that was in the NFL and came back in the off season and worked out with us in the summer, they stamped us that. That was the summer of 2009, going into the 2010 season. I think we had the number three defense that year. Like we beat Texas A&M in the Cotton Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and that that summer before that season, that's when Corey Wilson was like, "Look, y'all DBU," and because at that point it was
In all fairness, that 2010 defensive backfield, I still think is like the best of all time.
oh yes man it was looking back at it now like when we was playing you really couldn't appreciate it because I
Because
mean
your quarterback was throwing 3 touchdowns that year.
yeah you was locked in and you was you was scratching and fighting trying to make a play because all the
Yeah.
guys around you. I mean I had defensive ends that could outrun all our DBs. So everything you got as far as a tackle or a fumble recovery, or interception, you had to fight and scratch for that. And if
Mm-hmm.
you hesitated, you wasn't getting it. It was the man beside you getting it. So everybody was running 100 miles per hour, 100 giving 110%, and you had to take advantage of all your opportunities.
Yeah. Well, LSU's got 6 DBs to replace this year going out. I mean, that's going to be a lot, but they got some recruits coming in. I don't know how big you are in recruiting, but they got some big guys they're bringing in. They're working on them,
Mm-hmm.
so expect some big news in the next couple weeks here. Um, Brandon, is it a sign that maybe that culture, maybe Brian Kelly's shifting that culture back to what it was before? I call it 2012, 2013, whatever year we want to call it, where you just had max exodus and everybody with a whiff of talent was just leaving before they had eligibility. Is it a sign that LSU's trending back that way with Kayshon Boutte returning for his senior year?
I would hope so, but I think Kayshawn watched this. He probably did the same thing I did. Watch this film, evaluate it, because you can call NFL and get like a draft analysis on yourself, and they'll tell you like they'll be honest with you like, look, we got you going from this predicted going this round and this round. Like the year he had this year, he probably lost $15 million. He want to get that back, and then knowing the young offensive line that got coming back, those guys are gonna be veterans next year. Even though they're gonna be a bunch of them gonna be sophomores, they played a lot of football and good football at that. You got other wide receivers coming back, Malik Neighbors. You got Taylor coming back. You got Thomas coming back. It's just the recipe is there. So he sees that and he knows that he can capitalize off of next year playing at LSU more than he can entering the draft this year. Because his right now where his this season went from him, all he can go is to the top. The only thing he can do is improve. So I'm glad he made that the right decision of coming back to LSU and getting the full off season to get healthy,
Right.
which he's healthy now, which he's going into the off season healthy, which unlike last year he was. So that's a good thing for him right there.
My barometer I always use is, would I tell my son to stay or go if he was on the team? And Kayshon Boutte, if he's my son, stay. Improve your
Yeah,
draft stock. See if you can get that first round money. If you're a first rounder, which you have the talent to do, but I just quite frankly you're not there right now. Your life in the NFL is just going to be a lot easier. It
oh yes,
just is.
oh yes,
So
indeed.
that's my gauge. And by the way, Jack Bech leaving, he leaves because of Kayshon Boutte. If he's my son,
I think that was his ultimate decision.
right
After
decision for him to go.
Kayshon came back, he need. I mean, that guy is a wide receiver one. You put him in the slot, he's a wide receiver one, and that's one of the type of guys like, okay, him go entering the portal for him is gonna better himself because he's a 15 target a game
Yeah.
guy.
I think he'll
He's
be
not
good
gonna
for
get.
someone.
Yeah, he's not gonna get that at LSU right
No, he's
now.
not. There's too many good
So,
receivers. He's getting buried,
so
and that's okay.
then you got the guy from the young cat from Capital coming in. I mean, Catholic High coming in,
Yeah, Shelton
and he's
Sampson.
gonna, he's gonna blow a lot of people out the water.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a
So
big, tall kid. I don't think he's going to play that slot position. He's on the outside, but he's good, no doubt. I've been trying to talk to him, get him on the show soon.
oh yeah, man.
All right,
But
maybe this question's safe to air now that he's gone for
mhm.
you. So Corey Raymond didn't start DBU. He says sarcasm.
So okay, I'm about to break this down to y'all. My freshman year, 2008, and the 2007 season when they won the national championship, Corey Raymond was the assistant DB coach. He was a GA. After that season, that's when after my freshman season, Pelini left, Coach Doug Mallory left, and Coach Raymond left and went to I think no, Coach Raymond went to Nebraska with Pelini. Then after he left Nebraska, he went to Utah State. Before Raymond got back, DBU was already established. This was done by players, not by a coach. And then, truth be told, you couldn't be stamped DBU until you made it into the NFL. You had to be drafted to even say you was DBU. We were
Dang.
saying that in NFL locker room, not in college locker room. You had to be drafted in order to say DBU, which I mean anybody can say it, but at the end of the day, like I want to get the story straight. No, Corey Raymond did not start DBU. If anything, it was Ron Cooper because he when he came
Ron Cooper
in,
was a beast.
Ron Cooper had us right.
What's wrong? Ron Cooper's like an NFL coach now, right? You keep up with him
No,
at all?
he's back. So when I left after 2011, he went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I
Right.
think he was in 4 years.
I saw he was at South Carolina for a little while.
And then I think he won two national championships with Alabama.
No way.
As an
Okay.
analyst. Yeah, he was an analyst
He was an
at Alabama.
analyst? I was going to say, Ron Cooper had the best stint at LSU just to leave, and I never heard
That,
his
that,
name again, ever.
so when how we found out the guys that went to the Senior Bowl found out he left. We went in the room where you meet all the NFL coaches, like assistant coaches and stuff. And I seen Coach Cooper in there with a Tampa Bay shirt on. I'm like, I know I'm not. I said, I know I'm not tripping. He walked up to me, what's going on, BT? I said, Coach, you left? He's like, yeah, man, I got opportunity. I said, do you know what you left behind? The players you left, Craig Lawson, Eric Reed, a Tyron Matthew that needed your help at that time, Farrell Simon, Ronald Martin, Jalen Mills, Jalen Collins, Dwayne Thomas. Like, he had the blueprint to be a DB coach, and then he could have stayed another year and been a defensive coordinator. But that was a decision he made. I guess he wanted to see how he could do in the NFL and stuff like that. But I think Coach Coop should have stayed a lot longer at LSU. Which with him leaving, Corey Raymond got to come back to his home state and his former school and
Do you
coach.
think he would have been? Do you think they would have ousted Chief back then and promoted Ron Cooper?
Nah, I don't think Coach Coop was ready to be a defensive coordinator back then. And as Chief, I know his last few years were kind of tanking, but
Mm-hmm.
you gotta understand his style of defense. You need a certain type of player with a certain type of body type to play every single position. You got to think when he first got there, he moved the starting safeties to outside linebackers, nickels, Danny McCray and
Hatcher,
Harry
Cornell
Coleman.
Hatcher.
No, Harry Coleman and Danny McCray was
Oh
first.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
We lost to Penn State in the Capital One Bowl that year for the bowl game.
yeah.
But we had a top three defense that year. And me, I was strong safety, and Harold and Cornell Hatcher was the free safety. And then he just kept doing it. My senior year, Cornell Hatcher moved to linebacker, and he moved Kevius Mingo from middle linebacker to DN. Like this man was playing chess, not checkers. Like he's a mastermind. This man, Coach Shavers was winning SEC championships in the '90s. Like he was that world renowned, and I pay all respect to that man. Right now, if he asked me to run through a wall, I probably couldn't do it, but I damn sure will try because I love that man to death.
Well, here's Mike Scarborough, popping in the chat to troll us. Don't get me started on that Corey Raymond nonsense. Of course, that's our guy.
Look at him, big swole.
Big swole, big swole. Although I like putting that up here because as soon as you flex, it's gonna make him look real bad. But that's all right. That's all right. Let's see. He had another comment here. Let's see. Hold on. He wanted to ask you something about Franklinton. Let's see. What's up with Franklinton? God, Mike's spamming my chat tonight. Hold up. God, I had this comment picked out. What's going on with Franklinton, man? Why aren't they winning at Franklinton? Here we go. How come it's been so long since Franklinton has some top talent? What's going on there?
Oh, we actually do. We got a young receiver. He's going into his junior year. He's being heavily. Well, he committed to Texas Tech to play wide receiver. We
Yeah.
just in a rebuilding phase. We just picked up a new head coach from Mandeville High, and losing Coach Shane to Southeastern was a big blow because
Yeah.
Coach Shane had been there. Man, he was coaching.
Oh. Did I lose you there, Brandon? Oh, man, I might have lost him there. Well, there he is. He's back in. All right, so tell me about Coach Shane.
Losing him to Southeastern because he took a wide receiver coach job at Southeastern. Losing him was a big blow, but now he's back and he's the principal of Franklin High School. So having him back just at the school and his presence, we building it back up now.
Well, I mean, Franklinton's had some decent players. I mean, Adrian McGhee. Then you had Terrence McGhee, which
Yeah,
Terrence McGhee must have been a freshman when you were there, huh?
yeah, he was a freshman my senior year.
Let me tell you. So I kind of went on like a recruiting trip with one of my buddies who was like a good player, and I was like his plus one, like, hey, take my buddy with me. Terrence McGhee was in our group, and let me tell you, he knew he was the best player. He knew he was the best player in our group. He just sat there, just kind of knew it, man. He was very confident. Very,
Yeah, that's a boy there. Like he's country as get on. Like,
I think then our buddy Blake Ruffino, I think he went to
oh
Franklinton
yeah,
too.
me and Blake grew up together. Blake,
Did you
I
really?
used to spend the night at each other's house.
Oh,
Me and
really?
Blake, like when I say grew up together,
Yeah.
like Blake, when Coach Miles came to my house for my official visit, Blake was at my house for my official visit.
Oh, that's cool.
Like it's deep ties. Like me, Blake family and my family go like way back. My dad coached Blake all the way up into high school football.
Really? How was he as a football
Football.
player?
Blake was always the biggest person on the field.
He's a big
But
guy.
Blake was more of a baseball head than football,
Oh,
which
really?
we all baseball was all our favorite sport growing up until we got to high school. Then you had to kind of pick and choose what route you wanted to go. So I took the football track route, and Blake took the football baseball
Hmm. Well, there it is. I didn't know you were that. I mean, I figured you'd probably cross paths with him, but I guess Franklinton's kind of a small town. You kind of know everybody there.
route. Blake spent the night at my house, like growing up.
I see
I
that
spent the
now.
night at Blake's house. Blake mom was my third grade teacher, Miss Cookie Rufino.
Oh, really?
His auntie was my ninth grade English teacher, Miss Ty John. His uncle, Coach Jeff Ty John, was my baseball coach. Like it's Franklinton is like a big family.
So the
It's
Rufinos are just like all over Franklinton.
oh,
It's like the Rufino mafia out there. Like they just got
oh yeah.
someone around every corner. And don't you cross this family? Don't you cross the Rufinos in Franklinton? They
I'll
got
tell you right
someone
now,
with an eye on you no matter where you go.
the community of Franklinton is so close knit. If you touch one person in Franklinton, you're gonna have to touch everybody. It's like
That's funny.
we all got each other back in that community.
I hope Blake's watching right now. Here's another super chat from Dane. I'll tell you, Dane has actually requested you on the show for more than a year now.
Oh
Thank you,
yeah.
Brandon, for clearing up the DBU history. Mike should give you a free subscription. Have we not given you a free subscription? If you want a free subscription, text me.
All right.
we'll take care of that. Let's see. Did anybody have it? All right. One last question. All right, this is actually a good one. I'm dying to know what Brandon thought of Deion Sanders' talk with the Colorado team on his first day. He told them boys hit the transfer portal. What you think? What you say?
That was actually nice of him to do. That was a coach being nice. When we had that mass exodus as far as coaches coming from the 2008 to the 2009 season, you understand we had a new running back coach. Coach Frank Wilson was coming in. We had a new defensive coordinator. Coach Shavers was coming in. We had a
Mm-hmm.
new defense coach. Coach Coop was coming in. We had a new wide receiver coach. Coach Gonzalez was coming in from Florida. And you know who he coached, Percy Harvin, all them guys. We had a new special teams coach. Coach T-Mac was coming in from the New York Giants. We had the same thing, and they told us the same thing, which it wasn't the transfer portal thing. They had recruits that they had coming in that they wanted to play, so you had to go out there and compete. Like everything counted, spring game, workouts, everything. And you can't knock a coach for being honest. Like you just coming off a 1-11 season, and you were a part of the 1-11 season team. You don't think he gonna watch film and see, okay, like, because put it like this. I think what it was today, the past 14 hours, Dion had over 200 players in the transfer portal and recruits had contacted him.
That's
And
wild.
majority of
And
them
I
said,
think you had like Alabama players tweeting, "Hey, coach, you got room?"
you got a nephew at Alabama, the running back, Sanders. He
Yeah,
going
Trey
over there.
Sanders. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that man, they know he got the head coach from Kent State dropping from being the head coach to go be an offensive coordinator for him. They know this man is going to build something special, and he knows football. This man loves football. He eats, sleeps, and craps football.
Yeah.
They know what type of coaching they're gonna get out of him. They know what he did in his past. This man built a high school in Dallas. He loves football, and for him to tell the kids that and let them know, like, hey, like, and I think people took it the wrong way. He probably took it as, okay, if you was a starter here and you don't think that you think that you're gonna be a starter next year and that you don't have to compete for your spot, you might want to hit the portal.
It's just wild to me that he comes in and says, "And that's your QB1," points to his son, who's enrolled at Jacksonville State still. Jackson State, I'm sorry. And then he's like, "Hey, y'all hit the portal, cause I got luggage. And it's Louis."
Uh huh. Which
I'm saying though, man, that is
man,
gotta be
I can see that. Which I'm gonna tell you right now, Dion love his kids. All of them coming there. The quarterback, his son Shiloh that plays safety, and his daughter that plays basketball. She's a freshman that plays basketball at Jackson State. He love his kids. He know what he put into his kids, and he know what he can get out of his kids. His son just passed for over what 7,000 yards in 2 years at Jackson State. Like
pretty good.
you know what he's doing. He's working the off season with Tom Brady and Drew Brees. He has the tools and the resources
And
to make
connections.
his players great. Exactly. He got all the connections to
Yeah.
NFL players and all this stuff that can come and work out with some kids in the off season. Imagine, just watch. Watch how many NFL players that didn't go to the University of Colorado be there in the summer working out with
Bowl game
Dion
next
and them.
year? No doubt, right? I mean, what they've got one player committed. By the way, they got a guy, Jordan Hall, who was an LSU target. He committed today, but it's the first player. But I mean, we're already seeing it's going to be a bowl game next year, right? No doubt, right?
Oh yes, indeed. I could see him going over 500 and getting into a bowl game, which coming off a 1-11 season, that's damn good. Like you improving, like you taking
Hmm.
nothing and building something, and which I think he knows that he gonna need 3 4 years because you gotta understand, come what 2024, the whole dynamic of college football is gonna be changing as far as conferences and all that stuff.
Well, Brandon, I appreciate you taking time to check out the show, man. I want to have you on again soon. I mean, it's been way too long. It took me way too long to get you on here. I appreciate you. Why don't you tell all the people where they can keep up with everything that you do?
I do the pregame and postgame show, radio show for LSU. You check us out on 98.1, an hour and a half pregame and an hour and a half for postgame show. We'll be doing it January 2nd for the Citrus Bowl against Purdue. And man, we just me hunting Marlin is like every year we do it, we get more looser. We be in there cracking jokes. We have a good time doing that radio show. And while we're at the games, people come up to us and like, man, we enjoy listening to y'all. Like y'all get us home on the way back from the games, and we listen to y'all coming in and stuff. So it's good to know people are listening to you and enjoy your input on LSU football.
Well, I appreciate you for coming on, Brandon. We'll have you on soon again.
All right, I appreciate you, Preston. You have a good one.
You too, bud. That was Brandon Taylor. Really enjoyed having him on. We're gonna hear from Tramonte's. I got a recruiting update. We're gonna go through LSU's update on recruiting, non-transfer portal recruiting, because I kind of touched on transfer portal. We're gonna go through that. I'm gonna thank Tramonte's and a couple sponsors for making our show possible. While we're doing that, guys, if you haven't liked the show, please like it, share to your Twitter, share to your Facebook, your groups, whatever. Do the stuff, guys. Do the stuff. Make the algorithm gods happy with what I have put out. Remember at Tramonte's, y'all, they got your best holiday ham, they got your best prime rib, they got your best bourbons for the holiday season. Go check them out at the corner of Jefferson and Airline, right behind Parkview Baptist.
Tramonte's has meat. Tramonte's has seafood. Tramonte's has much more. Tailgating and homegating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tramontes.com.
That is Tramontes.com. I'd also like to thank Celebrity Theaters for making our show possible. They have 3 locations: Baton Rouge, Broussard, Ruston. Make sure to go check them out for their nightly specials. Monday night, senior savings, for the Mike Scarboroughs of the world who want to go make their $5 admission. There you go, Mike. Tuesday, Bargain Tuesday. They have discounted movie tickets and concessions all day. Wednesday is half-priced arcade and college night. They also do private events, so if you've got a corporate event, birthday, anything like that, make sure to go check them out. They do offer the luxury leather seating. They are Louisiana's only locally owned theater, so you're guaranteed a clean, quality studio every single time and better prices, guys. It's my favorite theater. It was my favorite theater before I was paid to tell you it was my favorite theater. I'm pulling a little Matthew McConaughey on you there, but I'm serious. I've been going there for years. It's awesome. So y'all go check out Celebrity Theaters. Okay, recruiting updates. I'm gonna get some comments. I'm gonna mix comments in. I don't want to get too disorganized here, but I'm mixing some comments. I want to engage with y'all. Dane Bergeron says, "Hell yeah, bring them back." Thank you. Hey, it was your idea. You've been putting on the board for years to put them on. Let's see here. Rushing him off, man. He was on here 20 minutes. That's probably one of the longer ones. I have been having some guests who did tell me, like Mesh a few weeks ago told me that, Matt Miguez told me that, yeah, man, I can stay, close out the show. Or Nick Diaz is a guy. But, most of the time it's just 15, 20 minutes and get you off. Like Aaron Murray last week was like, dude, I got a newborn. Can you do it in 12? I was like, I got you, man. Thank you, Preston. No, thank you, James, for watching the show and supporting this. Best show to date. Well, I mean, you built the show, Dane. It was your guess, so I would hope it was my best show. Custom tailored. Let's see here. Carl Dunn, Trespa Portal. It is going to get interesting. I hit on that earlier in the show, so if you want to get my transfer portal synopsis, make sure you go back and rewatch that. Did I say Mike? I've always said Mike's a senior citizen. We poke a lot of fun at each other, but Mike's he's good people, y'all. We're pretty tight. That's my guy. Here, Mike. I'm sorry. Look at this. Does this look like a senior citizen, y'all? Look at this guy. Let's see here. Oh man, someone's asking a hard-hitting question. Preston, why don't you ever wear purple and gold on my show? Someone's hitting the hard questions. Critter Getter. That's because I'm a media member, and we are supposed to put on a veil of non-bias, even though I cover LSU exclusively and I graduated from LSU. It's considered a no-no. Like, news organizations don't typically have their employees wear colors of the teams they're covering. When I worked for the Advocate, I would make sure to go out of my way not to wear either color of either team I was covering, and it's just kind of that, non-biased. We're trying. It's the same reason I don't cheer on the show much. I mean, you're not supposed to. Like in the press box, you're not supposed to cheer or anything like that. It's a long-winded concept, and sometimes we break the rules, but that's the concept behind it is. News organizations aren't supposed to really, be fan-like. That's the best answer I got for you. Let's see here. All right. Well, this is what I was going to dive into next. Thanks for organizing my show for me, Josh Forbes. Josh McGowan is a tight end. He is currently getting a visit from Mike Denbrock this week. I've got a story on the website if y'all want to go check out what he says. I've got a very good feeling. He's a 3-star kid. I think he's a bit underrated. He's a bit under the radar. He's a very good fit for the Brian Kelly system, more importantly. So y'all go make sure to check out the website. 3-star tight end Jackson. I'm trying to double check. I want to say, Miamisburg, Ohio. I wanted to say Ohio. I just was like having to double check my notes, but he's from Miamisburg, Ohio. Denbrock's taking it in home, and he's taking an official visit this weekend. I'm sorry. This weekend, December 9th, with a bunch of LSU commits. I really like LSU's odds with Jackson. He just decommitted from Cincinnati, right on the heels of the LSU offer, although he did tell me that it was mostly because Coach Fickell took the job at Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is there as an option for him. BK won't screw this up. I got a good feeling about him, guys. If I had to say who's the starting quarterback next week, and guys, look, I'm not going to really talk about the bowl. I do like LSU's odds in the bowl, by the way. I'm intentionally avoiding talking about the bowl game today, specifically because what the lineups we're talking about right now, as we've seen in past years, it's very likely that in 2 weeks that lineup, boom, blow it up. It ain't going to be there anymore. So I don't really want to spend too much time and, give someone a clip quote. Oh, Preston said LSU by 20. Look at this. Well, hold up now. Timestamp that sucker. So if I had to say, I think it's going to be Daniels. I think it will be Daniels in the ball game. I know some people are coming out saying it'll be Nussmeier, but I think it will be Daniels. I think Nussmeier could make things really, really, really messy if he's your starter in the bowl game, just roster management wise. Another bad recruiting news. Nichols Harbor was supposed to visit today, the 5-star edge rusher. He canceled his visit and hasn't rescheduled yet. He is set to visit Maryland. He's actually at Maryland right now, taking an unofficial that will transpire into an official visit later, and then Georgia next week. So not much time before signing day. They haven't gotten him on campus for an official. We'll see if he makes that happen. But December 9th, you got Tyree Adams, Christian Braithwaite, and Kai Preen on campus with Jackson McGowan. I like that. Get all the commitments here with him to kind of say, hey man, come be a part of this. But then December 16th is a big day for LSU in recruiting. You're gonna have Desmond Ricks, who we all know is a big deal, 5-star everything DB, and LSU's giving the full court crush. Him and Javion Taviano, LSU's been pushing for hard for a very long time. But you've also got Isaac Smith, safety out of Mississippi, and everybody wants him. Highly recruited, very good player. He's also going to be taking an OV on that day, an official visit. So, that's a good day. We have all this on our site, by the way. So if y'all go subscribe to TigerBait, I want y'all to subscribe to TigerBait. It's $99 for a year. Best recruiting service out there. It's Mike Scarborough's the godfather of LSU recruiting. We on the post-game show, we showed his website from 25 years ago. Screwing around with that. He's been doing this quite a while, so there's no one better with recruiting for him. And I write my updates, so does Brian. So y'all make sure to go check us out. We are LSU's original premium recruiting service. I'm gonna get to some comments here, and we'll wrap up the show. Remember, guys, if y'all have appreciated the show, I appreciate y'all for hitting that like button, sharing, commenting, all those good things to make the algorithm gods that determine my lifestyle. Determine my income and career, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all for helping out with that. Let's see here. I don't know. Preston Mike's got some guns. You may not want to mess with it. He might put you in those vice grips. I am not, Carl. Look, I wanted to do more high school filming with the baby. It's been really hard. It's been really difficult for me to get out there. Am I being transparent? Am I being transparent with what? Oh, trying to see. I'm a little lost what you mean there, James Sells. Yeah, I'm always transparent. Mike's going to fire me for a purple and gold shirt. He probably wouldn't fire me, but it would be greatly frowned upon. It would be greatly frowned upon for someone in a news organization. I mean, go look at most news organization employees, I mean, go look at the WAFB guys, go look at, a lot of those guys tend to avoid it. Sometimes you'll get former players working for a radio station or something like that. Obviously, they're going to do their thing. Can you put me on the payroll? Josh is looking for some NIL money. I don't know, Josh. You're going to have to get a little better at talking about football. What's the name of the high school guy from Florida I interviewed? He's a real dedicated player trying to leave for LSU earlier. Von Bluesman. His name is Colin Hurley. And guys, huge brag for Colin Hurley real quick. He DM'd me unprompted. Reached out to me and said, sir, I have a message for LSU fans. Would you mind putting it out there? That's Guys, I've been doing this for years. Never once. I don't think Mike's ever had a kid do that. I'm going to ask Mike if he's ever had a kid do that. I doubt he has. I've never heard of a kid reaching out to the media and saying, I have a message. Will you publish this? And he wrote a beautiful op-ed that I published on TigerBait.com. And it blew up. It blew up. We've had tens of thousands of people go read that piece. It is outstandingly written. What was really impressive is it's very common in this industry when a recruit sends me something, like sometimes they'll email me an interview, or I'll have them on the phone. I kind of have to clean it up a little bit to make it make sense, because high school kids tend to struggle with communicating well and accurately, and you just have to do these things for them. Guys, I didn't have to make a single edit. Not one edit was required. Grammar on perfect, and it was very well written. I had people say, man, I couldn't write that well when I was 15. Guys, I'm 31 with a journalism degree. I can't write that well. That was outstanding. So if y'all missed it, go check out the Colin Hurley op-ed on TigerBait.com. Guys, this kid's bright. His future is brighter than LSU quarterback. I mean, he might be president. He's really good. I can't say enough about him. I'm going to bring him on the show as many times as he's willing to come on. Meant next year, screwed up. What I was trying to say, what do you think? Oh, Jaden Daniels and Nussmeier next year. I think Jaden Daniels comes back. In my gut feeling, I think Jaden Daniels comes back. And I know I've been saying I don't think he comes back, and it's been trending toward him coming back. It's official. I think he comes back, and I think it will be Jaden Daniels next year, unless Walker Howard also comes back and Walker Howard looks that good. I predict Walker Howard will beat out Nussmeier for the backup spot as well. But I mean, all this is too early. I'm just speculating. I'm just guessing. I mean, don't read too much into that. I don't have like insider scoop information there. If the bowl game gets out of hand, does Howard play? Of course he does. Yeah, of course. Either way. I mean, if LSU's up big or whatever, he's already got his red shirt in. They'd love to get him out there. We're recruiting the wrong players if we can't recruit people who will stay on our roster for a bowl game. And while I understand what you're saying, it is a little bit of a cultural shift, right? Maybe you kind of have to deal with it, but hopefully the kind of high quality kid Brian Kelly's recruiting, you might question, well, Jackson McGowan's a 3-star recruit, Preston. Who wants him? Well, maybe BK knows a little bit more than me and you and says this is the kind of quality kid. And maybe in 5 years, when that kid's still on the roster catching balls and making blocks, maybe we're the ones looking stupid there. That's my thought. A lot of people are talking about, should Brian Kelly go recruit Denver Harris? He's not going to do that, because Denver Harris has off the field issues, and you see videos of him driving through a parking garage at Texas A&M going 100 miles an hour. You could kill someone. And there's off the field scuttlebutt going on. He ain't going to touch that kid. Maybe that pays dividend. Maybe there's a correlation between kids who are high quality kids off the field, high quality field kids in the classroom, and kids who want to stick around and stay committed to their team. Maybe there is. There also could be a correlation between kids who are smart like that and watching out for their own best interest and opting out for bowl games. I'm just throwing things out. Sometimes it's smart to sit out for the bowl game. Could you imagine Tulane going to Columbus, Ohio for a playoff? Guys, so I've been against the 12-team playoff a bunch, which I got to wrap up here soon, but I'll touch on this. I've been wildly against expanding the playoff because of what it does to the regular season. It does diminish the regular season. I think about BCS versus the 14 playoff. It cut the drama in a good bit with those top tier teams. What happened to TCU last week would be just unbelievably dramatic under the BCS. And then Michigan's playing at the end of the day for everything. You got to win, Michigan. And then at the end of the day, it'd be cut and dry, the easiest BCS ever. Michigan versus Georgia, right? Well, you've kind of lost that like must win since TCU lost and was still in. Georgia could have lost and would have still been in. You lost a lot of that drama when you expanded, and you're going to lose more. The problem is that nobody gives a darn about these I'm seeing comments that are cracking me up. Nobody gives a darn about these bowl games that aren't playoff games. So you got to create more of them. And this essentially gets rid of the New Year's Six bowl game, which at least like the New Year's Six bowl games are the sad ones because those are supposed to be big deal bowl games. And you've got like no notable players. Nobody cares. I mean, you got everybody opting out for those. It's the Fiesta Bowl. Y'all remember Boise State in Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl in 2006? That was the coolest freaking game of my life. And nobody cares anymore. They cared back then because TigerBait.com colors are purple and gold. Just saying. That's a business decision. Don't ask the question if y'all don't want the answer. Did I read right that Hurley was he's being recruited by everybody, Josh? Seems like a great guy and extremely dedicated. He's a big man. He is. He's a great kid. Hurley is special. He really is. Go read that piece if you don't believe me. Preston, I believe the women's basketball team is going to the Final Four next year. BK and the Tigers going 11-1, 10-2 next year. Look, so I don't cover the women's basketball team, but I'm gonna tell you, Kim Mulkey coming. She's coming, man. She's gonna whoop some butt. I hope Dawn Staley is crying for decades to come. Licking her chops, man. I'm gonna hold off on prediction for the team next year. I want to see what's there coming back and what they're bringing in. Because there's going to be quite a bit of shakeup. It's going to look dramatically different from what even if it with the least amount of drama possible, we're still going to see 10 to 20 positions, like people going in and out. That's at a minimum. So there's going to be a lot of change up before next year. So I'm not there yet, but I could 10-2 is kind of, I'm leaning toward that being my floor. I mean, I really think the team's better than 10-2 next year. I think it's going to be very good. Let's see, I miss any good comments here before I hop off. Kayshon coming back was the biggest thing to happen. Kind of put a seal on a lot of guys' thoughts transferring. Any guys in the portal that are a must get? Well, I mentioned earlier, they've only offered 2 kids right now. So apparently Brian Kelly thinks not really. But they will. Me and Mike talked about it. We expect that they'll be signing about 12 or so. Oh, Mac Markway, yeah, he's really good, but he's committed already. He's highly recruited. Kim Mulkey is the best coach at LSU. Hard to question that one, man. I mean, she's awesome. She'll be definitely crying. I can't wait, man. I'll be like Cartman licking up the tears. I can't believe her, man. I do not like Dawn Staley. Wish him the best. Arkansas, DC got the UNLV job. Huh, good for him. What was his name? God, I can remember his name. But anyways, they floated Ed Ogeron's name for that job. And the thought of Ed Ogeron with millions of dollars in Las Vegas cracked me up, y'all. Woo! All right, guys, this has been a good show. Thank y'all for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. And y'all go check out TigerBait.com. Got tons of great content we're pumping out. Brian gave his breakdown of the roster. He's very organized with his stories like that. Just really good analytical breakdowns. So great personnel breakdown there. We got the list of recruiting visitors coming up. And we've got the story on Jackson McGowan coming on. So y'all make sure to go check that out. If y'all haven't already, hit the subscribe button to this channel. We're growing our audience tremendously. Hit that bell and make sure you get notified whenever we go live. Mike and Buddy will be live tomorrow. No post-game show until the bowl game. We'll be back for that. But Make sure to do that. This show will go live through National Signing Day, and Mike's, of course, talking about adding some more baseball content coming down the road. So appreciate all y'all. Y'all have a great night.